with her, so
Oh.
it's possible.
Math and liquor?
No.
Teachers.
You're doing like counting how many ounces?
Yeah.
How
Sips.
many glasses can I get out of this bottle of wine?
Yeah.
No, there was something where it was you had like this is 4 ounces. Like no, you started off with 12 ounces. This is what 4 ounces like, and like the girl kept on drinking. Hilarious. Okay.
Hey!
Hey, Maddie, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. What's going on? Long time no see. Everything okay?
Yeah, so far so good. How about you?
Hanging in there?
Still doing mornings?
Yes. This is usually the time I'm cooking dinner, but I asked my husband to do it, and he has time, so here I am.
Oh, that's nice of him.
It is.
All right, let's get this party started.
Fried peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Those are really good, let me tell you.
Yes,
I had
I know.
3 years ago in, where was it? I think in Philly.
3, 2, 1.
Rude! You know I could unmute myself, right?
Yeah, I know. How's everybody doing?
Jess.
Aches and pains.
Yep.
Aches and pains.
Breathe. I need my fan.
So you have a glare
Yeah, I know.
in your face. Okay.
It's your natural shine.
It's God's light shining down on you.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's the wisdom that's coming through through heaven, through my body.
Yeah,
so
that is.
I can fix you all today.
So you can share with us.
Yeah. So yeah, I always end up feeling like I'm fixing my own problem areas during mobility class because you're all complaining about the stuff that hurts me too. So again, Talia, this is your first time, I think, with me in this mobility class. Usually I give them the option to tell me what hurts. And I'm not asking Kristen anymore because Kristen is like my
everything
ear,
except the nose.
my eyebrow, my toenail, my belly button. I'm like,
I was just like,
you know,
head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
toes, knees, and toes. So generally, like, you know, mobility and yoga are very different. I'm not looking to get you guys to be flexible because that comes with time. We want to mobilize the joints. We want to make sure our joints and sockets are moving in the directions that they should, because then stretching without good joints, it's completely irrelevant. Nothing will come of it. So we're looking for better movement through this. A lot of the times, like last week, we did so much hip mobility work that, you know, it was a lot of paying attention. And so I want to slow it down today. I want to get the main muscles of our hips. We are going to target the flexors. We're going to target the piriformis because Mandy has a best friend there. And hamstrings. With all that, of course, everything is always targeted to the low back. All those muscles are attached to the low back. So I always start with the middle of the spine because that is actually where our rotation is. We walk and run with rotation of our mid-back. So if we don't have good rotation here, the lower part of our back compensates for that. And we end up stretching without its full range of motion, pulling on the wrong things. So first things first is getting our bodies to even want to be stretched and want to be mobilized. So we're just gonna chill out for about 2 to 3 minutes. You guys are gonna lay flat on your backs like this. Your feet are going to be aligned, hip width apart. Your feet are gonna be planted to the floor. So always be aware of what your body's doing. Don't just kind of lay there to lay. As you're laying there, see what your body naturally wants to do. So you're just gonna adjust your feet into the floor, bend your knees, try to align your knees, your hip, and your ankle. And in that position, I want you to place your hands on your belly, like right over your belly button, and take a really big, deep breath. And I want you to notice when you do that, your lungs are going to expand. I want you to try to breathe in so that your belly expands. We're gonna try to get that air through our lungs, through our ribs, down into our belly button. You're gonna feel your belly kind of expand with air, and then you're going to exhale and let all the air out of your belly button, okay? Sometimes when we breathe, we don't get enough oxygen into that area, but if we learn to do that, we actually get 30% more oxygen into our body. So when we do that, weightlifters are pretty good at doing that with the power belly breathing. So you want to breathe in all the way in, try to fill your belly with air and breathe out all the way. So while we do this, we're targeting our parasympathetic nervous system. So that way the muscles that aren't meant to be stretched during a certain position can relax, and the ones that are trying to stretch can stretch. So let's do a few of these on your own. Just take a big deep breath, close your eyes, let your belly fill with air. Do you feel it?
Yes.
And blow it out all the way. Try to get it all the way out. So you breathe in through your nose. Try to get it through the lungs into your belly and breathe out.
Initially, when I first started breathing, it was all into my belly already.
Yeah, that's good. But you're doing powerlifting, so that's it. Awesome. I think we're in a good state of mind. You guys are gonna stay lying on your backs. You're going to bring your knees up toward your chest, so they're gonna be at 90 degrees. You're gonna put them together, and you're gonna notice that you're gonna pin them together. You're gonna pin your feet together. Your hands are gonna lie flat down onto the floor, palms down. And you're gonna rotate, so now pretend that you're in a T, right? Your hands are out flat to the side. Yep. So I want you to feel like someone's pinning those arms down to the floor as you rotate from one side to the other. So don't lift your shoulders or your hands off the floor. Don't push it past where it can go. I want you to slowly just go side to side. And as you're rotating through these reps, eventually your body's gonna let go a little bit more each time. If it's not going all the way down to the floor on its own, don't push it there. Just come back little by little. We'll get to the passive stuff later. But as you're rotating, I want you to pay attention to your knees, that they are staying together. Don't let them come apart as you're rolling, because then that's easily going to get to the other side. As you're coming back and forth, left to right, keep your knees together, pushing against each other. Breathe out as you're going toward the side. Come up. Just gonna get a little rotation on your low back before we start all the stretching. All right, straighten out your legs. Both of them straight to the floor. I want you to hug one of your knees, bring it to your chest as tight as you can. The other one, if you feel it start to slightly bend, I want you to drive it down into the floor. So you're gonna hug your knee super tight. The other one drives straight to the floor. We're gonna open up the hips before we stretch them. All right, and then you're going to switch. We're gonna alternate a few times. Switch. Don't do anything funky other than pull it toward your chest because we're actually going to put it in a bunch of different positions in a bit. Just keep alternating. We're not holding for too long. Maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah. I know this is really hard to do, but try not to think about anything else other than the place that's trying to open up. Right now, we're trying to open up the low back. So envision that low back getting really nice and long. So we opened up the low back. If you look at the screen, now we're going to bend both knees. We're going to put one leg over the other. And then we're going to get underneath our thigh and we're going to pull it back. So cross one leg over the other. Try to really drive the knee down into 90 degrees. Grab your thigh and pull it back. And we're just going to hold here till I say, so try to relax your head, control your breathing. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Stretches are actually beneficial when we hold them for 2. So I'm going to warm you up to a really, really cool stretch that I like. Working right now, we're going to dig in. We're going to start with the piriformis first. So that's relaxed by the time we get to the bigger hamstring and quad. So 5, 4, 3, 2, come down, switch legs. Figure 4, pull it back. Try your best to relax your neck. If you have a hard time relaxing your neck through stretches like this that are like on your back, feel free to grab a pillow or an ab mat to put underneath your head if that helps you align a little bit better. 10 seconds here, just keep breathing. All the way in, all the way out. 3, 2, switch. Pull it back. Three, 2, 1, switch again. Second time on the other side. Three, 2. So you're gonna switch again to your original position. You're gonna grab the knee that's bent and you're going to try to bring it over your opposite shoulder. So you're gonna grab your knee and try to bring it like if you wanted to toss it over your shoulder. That's how far back I want you to bring it. So Chris, you're bringing your right knee toward your left shoulder or your left knee toward your right, yeah. Yep.
Oh, like going across. Okay.
Also, Mandy, that knee that's bent, which is your right, the one closest, is coming over the opposite shoulder. Yep. So you guys are here, figure 4. This knee is coming over this shoulder, like this. Yeah. And you should feel like this starts to stretch in here. Just relax, really relax your back, your upper back. And the angle of your knee should be toward your opposite shoulder. Try to even the lower leg, relax. The one that you're not stretching, try to lay it flat. And just breathe through this. If it's too aggressive with your legs straight, then you can leave it bent. Otherwise, let it go. Leave it long on the floor. So it's not toward your chest, it's toward your shoulder. Hold it a little while longer, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. 3, 2, 1. We're going to switch. Try to find that position. Like once you bring it to the other shoulder, just wiggle around a little bit to where you feel the stretch the most. Our glutes are so big, we have tightness in different areas. So where Maddie's tight might not be where Chris is tight. So just make sure you put yourself in a position where you feel the most stretch. Find the angle. I'm gonna hold it for about 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, switch. One more time on the other side. Feel that? So while you do this, it's really important that you relax the upper part. Sometimes when we're holding, like it's nice when someone does the stretch for us and puts us in that position. But since we're doing it ourselves, we tend to tense up on the upper body trying to hold. So relax your body as much as you can and focus on. There's a random stranger in Mandy's house. I think she's being murdered. Call 911. I have it on video. And relax. We're going to switch to the other side one more time. Try to find that angle because when we're getting up from here, we're going to get into it a little deeper. Relax, breathe. Think about the belly breathing we did earlier. As you're lying there, close your eyes, take a big deep breath, and just envision that oxygen going through all the organs in your body from head to toe. Just breathe and relax, chill. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. All right. So you guys are going to sit up in this position. We did this last week, the 90-90, knees, ankles, feet are aligned here. Like I have 2 slides, so I'm not here or I'm not out here. I'm aligned as straight as can be. My torso is nice and tall, and we're going to drop into a 90-degree angle here. My foot is facing forward, and this foot is facing that way, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So I call this 90-90. Every time I say 90-90, this is what I'm always going to refer to. So the goal here is when I turn around, sorry, I need to demo this real quick. When I come up, I start in that same position. When I turn, so as I'm turning here, I don't need to adjust my feet at all. My hips are moving and mobilizing I'm not going crazy shifting. If you need to hold on to the floor to keep this position to stop you from moving around too much, do so. I want your upper body as still as can be, and for this to be as much hip as possible. So right here, if this one is not coming to the floor, then that's your tight hip. If this one's not reaching the floor, that's your tight hip. If they're both not reaching the floor, then we have two tight hips. So right here, we're just looking for a little flow. I'm using my hands just to show you that this is the easier route. But you can, if you have good mobility and a good flow in this, you can just do this on your own. So as you're moving, all right, so we're gonna do, you guys are going to drop, right? So now I'm here, my knees on the floor and my knees on the floor. We're going to turn in this position. And I'm just going to maybe turn, I'm gonna turn my body just so that you can see me better. So same thing that you're doing right now, I'm turned to the side. You guys are here, I'm just turning the angle. Right here, when you're facing, your ankle and your knee should be aligned with your shoulders. So you wanna be over your body and not lean away, because that's when we stop stretching that muscle. Align your shoulders with your ankle and your knee. And then now we're going to reach as far forward as you can. If you can get deep into it with your elbows here, we're gonna hang out in this position for 2 minutes. So do the best you can to align that leg, like parallel to a line on the floor, and get yourself over your body. And if you want to get even more aggressive, your back leg, you want to straighten it out. But if you can't, that's fine too. So thumbs up if you guys feel the stretch on your hip. Thumbs up, thumbs up. All right. So I have a 2-minute timer going. This is the most beneficial time frame that a stretch can be held. So in these 2 minutes, all you want to focus on is the breathing and releasing. In this position, for this amount of time, slowly but surely, the muscle's going to release little by little. So the more you relax, the better. Try not to tense up anything else in the body. Try to think about your happy place, where you'd be right now if this wasn't happening. Maybe the beach, maybe out with some friends, maybe at happy hour, who knows? I'd be here teaching mobility, right? Person will still be cooking 10 pounds of salmon for no reason. So we're 1 minute into the stretch. Let's get a little deeper in our breathing. Reset that breath. Take one big breath. Hold it for a couple of seconds. Breathe out. As you're breathing out, try to reach forward and feel your body drop into that hip a little bit deeper. Take one big breath. Hold it for like a 3-second count and blow it all out nice and slow. Feel your body weight fall right over that hip. And your body's just driving down into the ground as much as it can. Got 20 seconds here. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Let's come out of that. Climbing back into our starting position. We're going to turn and we're going to drop and do the same thing. Again, you can stay right where you are, if that's not for you, or you can straighten out that back leg and get deeper into the stretch. We got 1 minute here. Try to rotate your hips forward, align everything to your shoulders, your knees, and your ankles. 2 minutes. Find the position where you feel the hip. Seconds. And rest. Rest, shake it off. And you guys are gonna come, turn one foot over the other, plant it down like this. Your bottom leg is going to bend back like this. So starting position, we're flat on the floor, trying to bring this leg as far back as it can. That flat leg that's on the floor is gonna bend back toward our butt here. So we kind of look like a little pretzel, all right? Try to really push this foot down into the floor. So we're gonna drive it down into the floor. We're gonna bring this back toward our butt, and we're going to hug that leg and turn like this. So really, really, really hug it in this position. You're either going to feel a stretch on the butt or your little back opening up. Gonna hug here for a bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. We're gonna switch to the other side. Gonna cross over, bring this back. We're just gonna hug and rotate. One side might feel a lot tighter than the other. Try to really hug it in. And as you push that knee in toward your body as much as you can to get this to open up. Excuse me. Like correct?
Almost feel it.
All right. Now we open this up. I want to start getting into the low back. From the low back, we're going to go into the groin. And then from the groin, we're going to go into our hamstring. So we're going to first, actually, yeah, we're going to do this first. Sorry. You're going to lie on your side like this. So I'm just going to be relaxed. You're going to straighten out your lower leg. Your top knee is going to drop down in front. So what we're going to do is come all the way back to where your body allows that arm to go. We're not going to lift this arm. You're going to go as far back as you can. All right. And then all the way forward, all the way back. We're going to do that 10 times before I tell you what we're going to do staying in that position. Try to drop your knee down. So Mandy, try to keep your knee down the entire time, even if your arm can't go all the way back. So bring your arm back to the beginning. Drive your knee down into the ground and rotate back without your knee coming off the floor. Yeah. Rotate back as far as your body allows without your knee coming off the floor. More than most are not going to be able to reach the floor. Once you've done that 10 times, you're going to, the arm that's on the floor flat in front of you is going to hold on to your knee. And you're going to do that again. You're going to bring that knee a little closer to your chest and then do that again 10 times. And as you're coming out, yeah, Talia, you've done that more than 10. So yeah, grab that knee, yep, and start going back. Be a little more aggressive here. Try to push back, and your hand's gonna help you keep that knee down. You should feel a bit of a more aggressive rotation and stretch on your low back. As you rotate back, just remember to really use the exhale here. As you rotate back, breathe out all the air out of your belly. Once you've done 10, you're gonna stay in that position. I'm just gonna wait till everybody finishes so we do it together. Sure. All right, so once you're there, you're gonna rotate back one more time. Your arm's gonna go all the way as far as it can go. Your goal is to feel like you wanna drive your shoulder blade down toward the floor. You're gonna bend your elbow back here, and you're going to slide your arm against the floor. Even though you're not touching the floor, you're gonna go all the way up, all the way down, kind of like you're sliding your arm against the floor, up and down, nice and slow, 10 times. So you're gonna stay in that rotation back. So yeah, right where you are, Maddie. So you're gonna slide. You're gonna pretend you're so mobile that your arm reaches the floor. So now we're here, and we're sliding all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. You're gonna feel this in your shoulder blade.
Wait.
No, Chris. Your
What am I
palm,
doing? I
your
know I'm
arm
doing
and
something
palm
wrong.
against the floor should be doing this, like this, against
Just like
in rotation.
like this.
Yeah, but Try to get as close to the floor as you can. The goal here is rotation, a lot of rotation, a lot of mobility throughout the back behind the shoulder blade. All right, once you've done 10, we're gonna do all of these 3 things on the other side. You're gonna rotate yourself to the other side. So we're starting with just the simple, gonna rotate. We're doing 10, going as far back as we can. 10, holding your knee in place, and 10 wipers with your arm. Nice and slow. Focus on the breathing as you expand so that you can open up that rib cage, get some air into your organs and your muscles, your joints. The first 10 is just where the body's going to allow you to go. The second 10, we're gonna get a little more aggressive and push back a little deeper. That's where you guys are doing the sliders. Pretend someone's pushing that arm down against the floor. Keep pushing, pushing down. And you're really trying to slide your elbow and palm down as far down as it can go. So you're squeezing through your lat, squeezing through your shoulder blade, and expanding it all the way up like you're getting super long. Cool.
This time I felt it in my chest too.
Huh? You froze. What'd you say?
I said this side I felt it in my chest too.
Yeah, so when you went here, this opened up. Okay. So when you guys are done, you're just gonna face down for this next one. I think I use this one every single day when I was coaching at the box. Warmed you guys up with this, especially since we had the space. Scorpions. Except now you've opened up, at least, well, in supine, you've opened up a little bit of rotation. So this might be a little bit easier to get into this time. And we've opened up the chest and the shoulder a little bit more. So now we're gonna get deeper into that. When you guys are down into the ground and out into a T, I'm gonna rotate toward this side. I want you, when you rotate, we're gonna go through rotations. when you're rotating, use this hand to push weight into this shoulder. And the foot, you want it to try to reach this hand as far as it can go. Try to reach for the hand. And as you're rotating into that shoulder, always try to rotate it out. Try to keep that shoulder blade back and down. Open up the chest. Use this hand to drive into the floor and drive weight into that shoulder. So you want to go 1, as far as you can. 2. All right, we're gonna do 10 on each side twice. You want to go at a nice slow pace. So your foot's goal is to touch your hand. You're not gonna touch your hands because that's really tough, but I want you to have a place for your foot to go. So your back is rotating. Always start flat, Talia. So you should be flat on the floor first. Both of your hips should always be flat on the floor. Yeah, you want to be aligned. So try to be in the middle of your mat. So you look a little crooked from where I'm looking at. Align your hips, your arms, everything pinned straight. And try to rotate your leg back behind you without rotating your entire upper body though. Get that rotation through your low back.
Whatever.
As you bring that foot back, I want you to try to keep the hip down. Naturally, it's gonna come up, but I want you to create tension in between the joints of your low back. So as you're rotating the foot back, you wanna drive the hip down at the same time, and you're really gonna get that low back mobility. Ten on each side twice. How's everyone doing? You froze. So I don't know. I'm frozen for you guys, but everyone's frozen for me right now. I think it's my computer, the internet. Are you guys still working? They're frozen.
What? I'm sure I changed.
Okay.
Hmm?
No, Kristen's not frozen.
Yeah, she is. You can just, it picks up voice. All right. So you guys are frozen right now for some odd reason,
Oh, there we go.
I guess. It could be me though. All
Yeah,
right.
everybody's slow.
Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up the knees. Anytime we do anything on our knees and you guys feel like it's uncomfortable, just grab a pillow or something to put your knees on. Put your position behind. Your ankles are gonna be on the floor and your feet are gonna be facing away from your butt. So we're not on our toes like this. We're actually on our ankles. It might be a little uncomfortable, but we're gonna get a lot of rotation work in. So we're gonna drop into our hips in that position. I'll show you guys from the side. We're gonna be here, nice and tall. Our feet are gonna be out away from our body. Just here alone, you should feel like your groin is opening up. You're gonna drive your hips back and drive your hips away from this position here. So we're just gonna mobilize a little bit of the inside of the hip. We're gonna go here, nice and slow. Can you do that with your feet facing away from you? Okay. We're gonna do 10. So I'm gonna start here with 3. Start forward. 5.
Not a single monster.
7 on me. 8, 9, 10. Now I'm gonna have you guys do that with your hands turned the other way. So get your fingertips to face you like this. Hands turn, palms on the ground, fingertips toward you. We're gonna drive ourselves back and forward. Drive hips back and forward. Maddie, see if you could bring your arms a little further away from your body. Maddie, bring your hands further away from your body. Yeah, and then drive yourself back there without letting your palms come off the floor. Right, feel some pressure on your wrists. Just hang out here wherever you feel a stretch. The more we hold this position, the more groin is going to relax a little bit. So just hang here. I know it's uncomfortable. Kristen, you froze in a poo-poo face. Everyone. I don't know what's on the internet right now.
What? Am I frozen?
We're all frozen. All right, just come out of that. You're gonna go knees together, hips down on the floor, and we're gonna go into child's pose. Just hang out there for a second because we're gonna do that one more time. Let me try to connect to a hot spot over here. Hold child's pose. All right. If that'll do. Just hang there and breathe. All right, come back. Same position, adjust your ankles to drop. Your foot is facing away from the body. My ankles are dropping down into the floor. And we're gonna drop back and forth. Again, if this is uncomfortable for your knees, just grab a pillow. I want you to feel like your hips are sinking into the floor and your palms are driven into the ground nice and strong. So we just want really engaged upper body. And you're pushing the ground. As you push the ground away and back, you're putting force into those hips, trying to open them up each time. This is 7 for me. 8, 9, 10. All right, let's rotate those palms the other way. And as you're here, when you rotate the palm, this is what happens to the shoulders. They tend to round again. Even while your palms are turned, really open up the chest, pinch your shoulder blades behind you, and then drive yourself back. As we're rocking back, you're trying to get your butt toward your ankles. Three for me. Nice. All right. Let's finally come out of that and stand up. Your squat is tight before. You should feel nice and loose now. All right. Usually we've been stretching the hamstrings lying on the floor. I'm gonna do it standing up this time. What we're gonna do is nice wide stance. Take a big deep breath, hands on the belly. Feel the belly expand with air. Gonna blow it out. Really drive your feet, your heels into the floor. Even your toes, drive them down into the floor. Feel them engage. Tighten up your butt. We're gonna lead down and forward through our belly button. So we're gonna hinge at the hip. If you see me from the side, hinge at the hip. In this position, if you're still hinging from the hip, you should start to feel a pull on your hamstring. I would challenge you to pinch your shoulder blades back. Even if you put your hands behind you, you're not gonna be able to round your back like this. So try to reach as far forward as you can. Feel the hamstring, feel the low back, relax. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. And come back up. We're gonna do that 2 more times. On the third, we're gonna do something on the ground. So just lean forward as slow as you can. Try to engage the low back, the entire back actually, to keep you upright as much as possible. You're really leading through with the belly button. I'm even holding my legs to kind of create some tension. Come up. And we're gonna go down 1 more time. So in this position, we're all the way down. What I want you to do is we're gonna drive our palms into the floor. We're gonna travel toward the left side, but I want this travel today not to be a left to right. It's going to be a semicircle. So we're gonna rotate this oblique over to this side, to the left, and we're gonna walk out into a circle, like a semicircle, all the way to the right side without moving the positions of your feet. So I want your toes to be facing forward, and you're gonna draw a semicircle back and forth without changing the position of your feet, trying to dig your palm into the floor as you do this. I want you to reach forward, engage even your shoulders, your elbows, try to lock them out, drive your palm into the floor, and like push the floor away from you as you're doing this. So we're not just kind of moving our hands. I want you to push the floor away from you the entire time as you're traveling. Glue your feet to the floor. Don't change the positions of your feet. As you're traveling around here, your hamstring is being stretched in different positions. We tend to only stretch it in one out of the three that we have. So as you're coming down, really try to push your hands into the floor like you want to, let's say, punch it with your palm. All right, let's come up. Nice and slow. All right, so we're gonna go into this little circuit. We always do downward dog. So we're gonna do that cycling dog where we go into the floor. You're gonna find the position where you feel that your heels want to come off, and when you force them down, you feel a stretch on your hamstring. So what we're gonna do is we're going to cycle. 1, your heel's gonna come off on the right, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 20. Then you're gonna walk, your feet are gonna stay in the exact same place. You're gonna walk yourself back, and then, well, I'm off camera if I do that, hold on. Okay, you're gonna walk yourself back to your toes. You're gonna hold on to your feet, and you're gonna go 1, 2, see me from the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 20. So we're gonna be mobilizing the hamstring pretty good. Again, the movement is downward dog. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, all the way to 20. Walk yourself back, keeping your legs straight. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 20. We're gonna do that cycle 3 times. So really try to do this, maintaining straight leg position. Nice and slow, no rush. As you're driving the heel down, really try to dig into the floor and feel that hamstring get long every single time. If you've been doing a lot of the workouts, you're feeling impact every time we land on the floor, anytime we flex the muscle, anytime we contract, we shorten the muscle. Every time you dig your heel into the floor in this position, you're making it long. So right there, Scott, 1 by 1, bring your toe up. Bring your toe up. Scott, can you see me? We're going 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're bringing your foot up 1 at a time for 20 times, 20 reps. As you bring your toe up, I challenge you to keep your legs straight though the entire time. So you're doing like standing ankle pumps. Remember day 1 of mobility, we had the belts or the dog leashes, and we were pulling it back and we were doing ankle pumps. So we're doing standing ankle pumps.
Just I never feel downward dog in my hamstrings. It's in my calves. So
You're just not in the right position. You have to be at an angle because that's
how much of an angle?
wherever you feel it. Adjust your feet somewhere where you feel it because,
That's crazy.
yeah, because I know that your hamstrings are still tight in other ways because even leaning forward.
Well, yeah, my upper hamstrings are really bad.
Try to get your head through in between your arms in that position.
Yeah, and that's not gonna happen.
No, you're fine there. From the back of your neck to the top of the tailbone, you want that to be as neutral as it can be to allow your hamstrings to like open up. Walk yourself back. Drive your knees back, and then drive one foot up and then the other. There you go. Cool. Remember, you're cycling this circuit 3 times. Where are you at? Oh, it's 3? Okay.
Again, I feel this in my calves, not in my hamstrings.
That's okay.
No, I should feel it in my hamstrings, but
if your calves are really tight, it's always going to overpower. The tight muscle is always going to overpower where you're supposed to feel it. You guys have many of you are done. Randy, you're still working. That's fine. We're going to go into one last stretch before we finish. We'll end with the hip flexor. So one big tip that I want you guys to do, because we tend to stretch these out very often, especially before a WOD. When we're in this position, because this is where I'm going to have you guys be, you'll see me from the side. This is no longer a stretch. That hyperextension and me just being in this position, it is. You feel this opening if you're tight, but I want you guys to start here, 90-degree angle, 90 on the floor, and I want you to squeeze your butt cheek. So you're gonna arch your back, then you're going to bring your tailbone into your body, like rotate it this way. So we're gonna rotate that tailbone in, squeeze your butt cheek, arch your back, squeeze your butt cheek. Once you squeeze that butt cheek, that's when our position to stretch starts. Now squeeze your butt cheek, lean forward, keep that butt cheek squeeze. So you don't even need to hyperextend here. Once you're in that position, squeeze. We're gonna bring our hands onto the floor. Once you get our hands down to the floor, I want you to squeeze your butt cheek again. Because chances are you stop squeezing. Squeeze the butt cheek. And then from this position, get one hand by the side of your head like this. So the hand closest to your knee is going to go on your head. You're going to try to get your elbow to touch your ankle. And you're going to slide that elbow alongside your body and turn it all the way around. And slide that elbow down to your ankle, down to the floor, and go all the way around. So do that 10 times. And as you're doing that, I want you to squeeze your butt cheek. So try to open that hip flexor. We're really gonna rotate, try to get that elbow to go down toward the floor. Try to do your best to rotate inward to get that elbow to reach the floor. And then breathe out as you're rotating away. So as you come down, for those of you that can reach the floor, like Andy, try not to bend the hand that's straight, that arm that's straight. Keep it locked into position. See if you can rotate your body. See if you can rotate your body down, reaching down with the elbow while maintaining that straight arm position. So that rotation is coming through the middle of the back. not really coming from anywhere else. Once you've done 10 on one side, I want you to switch for 10 on the other.
Am I late?
We just started.
Hey, Joss.
Hi.
Remember, as always mentioned since the beginning, focus on your breathing while you're going through the rotation. As you rotate away from your body, pretend like someone's there shifting your body out and away through your torso. So as you're at your highest point, your chest should be wanting to reach, to face the ceiling. Almost think of that. You want to think of your chest facing the ceiling as you're opening up. Now squeeze your butt. I'm going to randomly tell you to squeeze your butt. Yep. The coconut flower? We got time to do one more on each side. So try to turn to your original side. Let's see if you can get a little deeper, a little more rotation on the second try.
Forward to side.
Already programmed tomorrow.
Oh, you had the game, huh?
Oh yeah. Fun stuff. Job.
That's all good.
Biceps are some stretching. It's laying down flat on the floor, upright, and letting your body just fall where it naturally wants to go. The hard floor is the best way to align your low back, your spine, and everything. Just let it fall into place. My suggestion is, of course, work on what you felt was tightest, and breathing is probably going to be your biggest help of all, even just not just with mobility, but with exercise, with training, with stress, with anxiety, with anything in life. If you can control your breathing, you're way ahead of the game. So sometimes waking up in the morning and doing this before life happens, this is a good place to be first thing in the morning. After a WOD is when our bodies are most stressed. We just put it through hell. And as much as it is good for us in the long run, temporarily it's super jacked up and stressed. Even after the WOD, just because we don't have time all the time, take the time to chill just like this afterwards. Even if you're sweaty, even if your heart rate's going crazy, try not to do anything else until your heart rate's calmed down a little bit. And always put your breathing first before anything else. If you're thinking, I need to stretch, I need to work out, I'm antsy, I have so much to do. Think about taking literally 5 minutes out of your day to just make sure you are aware of your breathing. Like you made it a point to be aware that you need it and give your body the oxygen that it needs. Big deep breath, always through your lungs and then in through your belly. Don't just keep it in the lungs and then blow it out. Try to get good oxygen into the rest of your body.
The mat, there my dumbbell. The dumbbells that we use.
All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna log off and log right back on. So you might get kicked off for a second. I just don't wanna have a 2-hour long video. All right, for those of you that are coming on, we're donating $50 to watch Julie do 1,000 burpees. If you'd like to contribute to this cause, you can Venmo me. Julie's like, what happened?
I hear you.
What? It's
What?
10,000 burpees.
Hold on, I'm gonna
10,000
log off and
burpees
log
in
right back
24
on.
hours. All right.
You know you can stop recording, right?
Yeah, but I want to convert it and post it so that I don't post long later, two videos later.